third grade. Let's check out our target for today's lesson. I can read and understand the meaning of common suffixes. In order to hit this target, we must know what is a suffix. What is a suffix? And we must know some examples of suffixes and what those suffixes mean. So what is a suffix? Suffixes are word endings, and they change the words in which they are connected. So in this example, don't hand in a nameless page. We have two things going on in the word nameless. First, you have a base word here, name, which can be used all by itself without any help. However, when you add the suffix less, meaning without, on the end of nameless, you have a different meaning, a slightly different meaning. So less means without. So if less is attached to the base word name, that means without a name. So we are going to work hard today on reflecting and remembering common suffixes we have learned in previous lessons. And also we're going to be introduced to some new ones. And then we're going to look at suffixes within literature and find some common suffixes within a reading passage. So let's talk about some common suffixes we have learned. We have talked about is, and this is a fun little slide. It's a little Among Us slide. Is means more than one. Some examples of the suffix is being used. When is attached to a base word, it makes it more than one. So the base word here is dish. If you attach is on the end of dish, you have multiple dishes here, more than one dish. Looking at this word, lunches, lunch is the base word. Attaching is to it makes it more than one lunch. Let's look at another one that is common to us, and that is ing. Now, ing has two different meanings, but we focused on one in our previous lesson, and ing is a suffix when attached to a verb is indicating that it is happening now. It attaches the meaning happening now. So let's look at some examples. Singing. Sing is the base word. Well, if you attach ing on the end of sing, that means it is happening now. Another word is reading. Base word is read. If you attach the suffix ing on the back of read, you have reading, which indicates that this is happening now. This action is happening now. We are reading. Less, and we had this on our suffix poster, means without. Without. Less means without. That's easy. That makes sense. So here we have homeless. We know what a home is. It's a place where we live. We know less means without, so homeless means without a home. Then let's look at another example here. Fearless. We know what fear means. It means it's another word for scare, right? Well, if you add less, the suffix less on the end of that word, to be fearless means to be without fear. How many of you out there are fearless? Another one that we learned was full. Full means full of. such as in words fearful. If you're fearful, you're full of fear. Because full, the suffix full here, means full of, and we know what fear means. It's a feeling. So you're full of fear. If you are fearful, let's look at another example. Hopeful. If you're hopeful, you know what hope is. We have a lot of hope, don't we? If you're full of hope, you're hopeful. We talked about this one, and this one is ist, meaning best or most, depending on the context. In words like fastest, the base word here is fast. You can be fast, but fastest is more or the most. Okay, above all else. Ist. Another example is smartest. You can be smart. But if you add the suffix est and make that word smartest, that means you are the most, the best. Oh, our friend Ed. We've talked about Ed before. We call him Ed because he has 3 different sounds, which we're learning in spelling. But Ed, or we say ed, the suffix ed, when you add him to the end of a word, that means it already happened. It already happened. Shout. Shouted. Shouted. Shouted means it already happened. Notice how shouted makes the id sound at the end, but we spell it with an ed. Another example, id, is walked. Means it already happened. The base word here is walk. In means made of, like something that is wooden, golden, woolen, made of. Now remember, en has to be attached to a base word. Like gold is a base word by itself. By itself, gold can be used in a sentence without any help. The suffix just adds meaning to it. So if something's golden, it's made out of gold. The same with, I think that was my only example for that one. And then we have So faster, smarter, smaller. In that case, it means more, right? More. In other cases, like builder, teacher, singer, that's a person who does something. So has 2 different meanings. Builder. The base word is build. When you attach the suffix er to build, you're talking about someone who builds. Someone who builds. Now, in another example, taller, in this case, something is tall, but to be taller means you're more, okay? In this case, is adding the meaning of more. Then we are getting closer to our new suffixes. So when you see OR attached to a base word, like in the word actor, sailor, visitor, OR kind of sounds like doesn't it? Sailor, actor. visitor. When you see OR attached to a base word, it is adding the meaning of a person connected with. Person connected with. A sailor is someone who is connected to sailing. A visitor is someone who is connected to visiting. Then we have another one here, Lee. Lee. Now when you add this to a base word, you are adding the meaning how it is done. So something can be quick, but when you say quickly, you are saying how it is done. So you are adding a slightly different meaning to the word quick. Something can be done quickly. And then we have us, which means possessing the qualities of something. Possessing the qualities of. Joyous. You are possessing the qualities of joy. Someone is joyous in this word. The base word is joy. Us adds the meaning of, possessing the qualities of. You are joyous. You are possessing qualities of joy. Us. Dangerous. Someone said the imposter is dangerous. Well, danger is a root word, a base word by itself. If you attach us, the suffix us to it, you are talking about possessing the qualities of danger. So if someone is dangerous, they are possessing the qualities of danger. And those are all of our new words, our new suffixes and endings. And we're going to practice those in our assignment today. But before we do that, let's take a look at some literature here. Now, this is a story called Helping a Friend. And we're going to take a look at this story, and we're going to do a suffix hunt. We're going to see how many suffixes we can find. We're going to read the story first, and then we're going to find all of the suffixes. Let's get started. Helping a friend. And as I read, so you can follow along easily, I'm going to highlight as I read. Mrs. Smith has a little shop where she sells all kinds of stuff. Mrs. Smith is older. She has had her shop for a long time. She sells pots, pans, and snacks. She often has dresses made of pretty fabric. Do you see any suffixes yet? Remember, suffixes are attached to a base word. Keep an eye out for them. The stuff in the small shop is limitless. But for Pam, the best things Mrs. Smith sells are the things for kids. She sells bikes, balls, and games. Mrs. Smith always helps Pam find the best sales on games. She is a good friend to Pam. Pam has a fondness for games, and she knows when Mrs. Smith gets her shipments. So she always goes to the shop on shipment day. Mrs. Smith must tell Pam when the shipments come in. Oh, she's very helpful to Pam. Once on shipment day, Mrs. Smith was a bit sick. So Pam said, Mrs. Smith, you always help me. Let me help you. Put all these things on the shelf. Mrs. Smith said, I'm thankful for your kindness. You are not a selfish child. You are a splendid child. Let me give you a fistful of snacks. Pam was glad she could help. As I was reading, did you spot any suffixes? We're going to find them all. There were a few in this passage. Now, remember, suffixes are small word units that we attach to the end of base words. So, when looking at this passage, a really easy one to spot is the suffix s. Now, yes, a suffix can be one letter. Let's take a look at these. Like in the word pots. S, when added to the base word pot, makes it more than one pot. S, when added to the base word pan, makes it more than one pan. The same for snacks. S is a suffix added to the base word snack, making it more than one snack. And as you can see, this contains a ton of plural words here. Plural meaning more than one. I'm going to make a note here. More than one. So here's another one. Bikes. So S in itself is a suffix, meaning more than one. And they're all through this passage. Here it is attached to the base word game. You put S, it's more than one game. Now, let's look and see if we can find more. Now, here's a new one. In this word, you'll see that there's a base word ship. Notice that. There's ship right there. Here it is again. Ship. Meant is the suffix. Shipment. Shipment. Meant is one that we have not talked about, but meant means action, means state or result of an action. So a shipment is a result of something being shipped. Remember, a shipment came in full of tons of things that Pam was excited about. A result of an action. That's what meant. Enjoyment is another word with the suffix meant on it. Entertainment. Movement. So here we have meant. Suffix meant. Here's another one that we know very well. It's full. And everyone spotted this suffix. Notice that the base word here in thankful is thank. So when you add the suffix full on thank, that means someone is full of thanks. Same for fist. Fist, you can have a fist full, meaning your fist is full. And then, let's see. In class, we also found ness, the suffix ness, and fondness, meaning you like something. To be fond about something, really like it. Fondness means, the suffix ness means state of being. So fondness means, oh, you are in the state of liking something. Kindness means you are in the state of being kind. Okay, thank you for your kindness. It's something that you can be, possess. Kindness, fondness. Let's see. Oh, there's that shipment. There's meant again, meaning result of action, result of an action or action. Let's see. Are there any more that we talked about today? Oh, there it is. Is. That was in our slideshow, meaning more than one. The root word there is dress. This was one of the first ones that we found. In older. The base word is old. Mrs. Smith was older. She was very old if she was older. So, in this case, doesn't mean a person who does an action. This means more, older. And I believe those were all of the ones we focused on in class today. Now it's your turn to analyze some words and tell me, with the help of suffixes, what that word means. Let's go ahead and get started. If you go to spelling, I'll show you, I'm going to go through spelling through homeroom. You can also go through through courses, but since you are already here, you know how to do this, but this is just in case you need to go back to this assignment. So we have our bulletin board here. Oh, we're not in spelling. I apologize. We are in reading. Huh. I'm going to go to reading. And we are in week 1. And Monday, January 25th. Remember, you have your fluency passage to complete, and here is your suffix practice. Now, your suffix practice, you are going to see some task cards here, and you're going to see a word like emotional. And you have to tell me what the meaning of that word is. Now, o is a suffix that we had way back when. So, what does o mean? What do you remember? Tell me what you remember. And you know what emotion means. You know what emotion means. So tell me, does emotional, when someone is emotional, does it mean A, has the characteristics of many emotions, B, without emotions, or C, likes to move? Use your writing tool here to circle the correct response. There's only one. Same with cooked. You should know what ed means when it is attached to a base word. So use that as a clue to tell you what cooked means. Does it mean made yesterday, the person who makes the best food, or more than one plate of food? And you have 12 of these to complete. Here's another example of a task card you're going to have to complete. Wooden. N means what? Made of. You're right. Oops, sorry, this is woolen. I apologize. Woolen. So the suffix here is N. That should give you a clue. It means made of. So tell me, does woolen mean more than one? A person that knits for a living, or someone that is something that is made of wool. Again, you have 12 of these, and make sure you take your time and you are circling one answer for each word. And that concludes our reading lesson today. Take care.